Hi, this is Mariah Carey, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Graham Norton Show.
Ourselves. Self-love, self-love. Hello, good evening, everyone. You're all very welcome to the show. And hello to our studio audience watching from home. Oh, pages of them. Very good. Hey, it's been another good news week. We've got another vaccine. The lockdown here is ending sort of on Tuesday. Christmas has been saved. Hurrah! Oh, I couldn't be more made up if I was an episode of The Crown. And happy times. Congratulations, America. America celebrated Thanksgiving, where every house has a turkey. Well, except for the White House. Yeah, they've got a lame duck. Trump's still hanging on in there. Did you see his lawyer? I love this. Rudy Giuliani overheating at a press conference, and his hair dye started to run. What did he dye his hair with? Bisto? What is it? Thanksgiving gravy? What? Trump himself made a rare outing this week to do his traditional meet and greet with a Thanksgiving turkey. Aw, he was hoping for a pardon, but turkeys aren't allowed to do that. Hey! Yeah. Virtual audiences can't throw things. I'm safe. I'm totally safe. So, who's on the show tonight? With me here in the studio, it's pointless star turned novelist, Richard Osman! He's everyone's favourite rocker man, is Tim Peake! If I'd known she was coming on to bake the cake, it's Nadiya Hussain! And he's one of Britain's most successful songwriters, the most, Gary Barlow! Plus, shortly we'll be joined by the queen of the high notes herself, music superstar Mariah Carey will be here. Yeah, Mariah Carey. Very good. So welcome all, welcome all.
Thank you.
It's a special day for someone because it's your birthday eve.
It is, yeah. Not only is it my birthday eve, I am 50 tomorrow.
You don't look it.
What do you... Oh, well, that's very kind. I look about 57.
No, stop it.
And it's conflicting for me to be here this evening. You know, before you're 50, you have a little bucket list of things you want to do. I had 4 things left on the list. One was to be on the Graham Norton Show.
Oh.
I get that done. But the other 3 were to win Bake Off, write a #1 single and go to space.
It is.
Not great for me, though.
Bittersweet.
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 Yeah.
You're not the only person facing a big birthday. Your big birthday, is it in January?
It is. It is.
And it's the same big birthday.
It is 50
Oh,
as
no
well.
way, Gary.
Yeah. I had big plans. Yeah, I wasn't leaving it to chance for someone to do a surprise. I'd booked the London Palladium.
Why didn't I think of that?
Should have thought of that. A 63-piece orchestra.
Wow.
2,800 people going crazy in the audience. It was going to be so good. And now I've got 6.
Oh. Actually, so have you cancelled the Palladium?
Cancelled the Palladium.
Oh.
Yeah.
You should have kept it and just gone anyway.
Well, do you know what I should have done? But do you know what I've said to them? I said, listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the old smash hits trick. I'm going to stay 49 for a whole year.
Well, because this year didn't count.
It didn't count.
It didn't count.
It didn't count. And then, so next January, 22, is that? Yeah, 22, I'm going to have the big night.
Suddenly.
There you go.
Yeah. And now, Nadiya Hussain, you do a thing when you come on the show. You like to Google the other guests.
Yes. So I'm painfully aware of how short I am. And I'm 5'1", shy of 5'1". So I'm really aware of when I turn up to things. I look like you can put me in your pocket, usually, once you watch it back on telly. And there's something about it. It never bothered me. My height never bothered me because I am from a long line of very short people, so...
Yeah.
Or short line.
Or a very short line of short people. Nice. Nice, you can stay with me.
Oh,
can I keep you, please?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you'll fit in my pocket.
Yes, but I do. I Google everybody's height, because I just need to know whether I need to wear heels or not. But I'm sat here, so it doesn't really matter. I could have worn my flat shoes.
But you still went with a heel knowing that Richard was here.
Everybody looks the same height to me. I wouldn't know you were short. Everybody, whatever height you are, looks 5'7". Everybody. If you're 6'4" or you're 5'1", you look 5'7".
Because what are you? You're 6 foot...
6'7".
6'7"?
Yeah.
Because Tim Peake has an interesting fact. So, did your height permanently change?
I wish it had. I wish it did. No, I grew 2 inches in space, so I'm 5'8", but in space, your back relaxes, all the muscles and ligaments relax, and you stretch. So for 6 glorious months, I was 5'10", and then I came back to Earth within 24 hours, crushed straight back down again. Yeah.
How does that fit your spacesuit?
And that's the interesting thing is they actually, when we have our Soyuz seats made for us, they give us an extra 2 or 3 inches in headroom, knowing that we're going to be taller when we come back to Earth.
And is it standard 2 inches, or would Richard, because he's 6'7", would he be about 5?
Yeah, no. Richard, wow. I mean, you would be a squeeze in the Soyuz anyway. It'll be...
Well, I was going to wonder, because, you know, what's the legroom like on a spacecraft?
They say, you know, 6 foot is about the limit, but we've got a European astronaut, Paolo Nespoli, he's 6'2", and they squeezed him into a Soyuz. But I think 6'7".
Talking of Googling people's heights, I Googled who was the tallest ever astronaut before he came on. And he was 6'4", a guy called Jim Weatherby from America. Yeah, so there you go, 6'4" was the most. So he's been, like, the highest up of anyone ever.
Yeah.
Because if you're the tallest person in space, you've been higher up than anyone.
That's a very, very good stat. You should really build on that.
Can I ask just one thing? Is it amazing seeing the Earth from space?
We'll get to this, Gary.
Just keep it down. I dream of it. Is it really incredible?
It is the most amazing thing you can imagine. And it's the one thing that the training can't prepare you for, because the training takes care of everything. We've been doing it for 20 years now. So, you know, we know what to expect, but nothing can prepare you for that. You get to that, you know, cupola window.
And not even photographs would make
They're nice, but they don't actually, you know, do it justice. Right. They fall short of what it's really
Would you go up, Gary?
I don't like flying, but I think it's a different... Is that a problem?
That's quite an extreme way to introduce yourself to the concept.
It's a short flight.
It's a short flight.
It's not like flight. It's more like a fairground ride. It's more like a roller coaster.
Oh, no.
If you like roller coasters.
No, it's worse.
Yeah, and it's only 8 minutes 48 seconds to get to space, so it's, you know...
Whoa! That's amazing. Oh, we'll have more space talk later, because new album from Gary Barlow. Do I have it? I do have it here. Music played by humans. This is out now, and later on you'll be performing the single "This Is My Time."
Yep.
And it really is music played by humans, because this is, I mean, a lot of real people playing real instruments.
Yeah, so basically I started this album as we came off tour last year, and it's a great time to write because, you know, you've seen audiences every night and it's a very positive experience being on tour. So I came off and went straight into this record, realised I wanted it to be with as many musicians as I could get in a room. Some days there was 60, so big spaces full of people, shoulder to shoulder. Remember how we used to do all this? And it was been great fun. And I must say, you know, for me, what you want is a record where you can't wait to go to the studio every day. And when you go into places like Abbey Road and there's 60 people playing your music, it's just utterly thrilling to do it. So it's lovely to sit and listen to it finished now.
And you did start very young. You were an accompanist. They'll let it round now. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I got my first gig when I was 11. And it was a little bar in Connors Quay. I used to play there every Saturday night. And within a year, I was doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. And by the time I was sort of 14, I was doing every night of the week at that point. So by the time I joined the group when I was 19, I'd done thousands of gigs, thousands of shows. I used to just walk on stage like I was going into the living room.
And also, it must have been weird because you must have been hanging out with adults the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that kind of changes a kid.
Yeah. Do you know what? I must say, when we did the Take That audition, you know, the other guys arrived, and I knew I could sing well. But, you know, they looked so cool. You know, they were dressed in what 19-year-olds... I came dressed like a magician. You know, I couldn't do any of the moves. I mean, I really felt on the back foot. But luckily, I could sing. So as they were teaching me sort of how to be a 19-year-old, I was, you know, sharing my skills and saying, let's do harmonies or whatever. So it was definitely a two-way street.
But you were dressed as a magician because you had been a magician. When did the magician bit happen?
Well, The magician thing happened slightly younger. I think this is why I ended up wanting to play music, is because my dad was a pigeon fancier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
It was a thrilling childhood. And every year they had the pigeon fanciers do.
I mean, of
Big
legend.
Night.
Yeah.
Of
Oh,
the big night.
Yeah.
The big night. But it was only...
Don't imagine the menu.
It was only ever...
Very easy to get home from.
It was only ever a disco. And so I thought I'd lend my services because I was getting a bit old, I was 9. So I put together this magic trick, right, which was very simple. It involved 2 ties, and I pre-gave this friend of my dad's a tie. I had another one in my pocket. I went on stage. We did this thing with a piece of paper, and I accidentally cut his tie off. And the room, now this is the important bit, the room fell to bits. And of course, as a 9-year-old, I loved that sound.
Yeah.
And then when I eventually changed the tie and brought out and the claps, and that's kind of what I was chasing till today, I think.
But what the heck is a pigeon fancier?
Good question, Nadiya.
Should I explain?
Yep, please.
So, my dad used to have this shed at the back of the house.
Oh, where's this story going?
And rather than going in there and you know, doing plants, he used to have these birds. And once a week, they'd take these birds off to, like, across the channel.
Yeah.
And they'd set them free and they'd fly home. And it was a race between all the people in our area whose bird arrived home first.
It's like being told a bedtime story by Gary Barlow.
Not a very good one.
It's great, it's great. You can carry on.
But yeah, it is. It still happens, does it?
Yeah, but listen, my dad used to love it. It was his hobby and his passion. And so, yeah, I've never talked about this before.
Well, you should, because it's fascinating.
They just sold...
Thank God there's no audience.
They just sold
Go
one
back
last
to the
week.
virtual audience. It'll always just black screens.
I know.
Harry talked about pigeons for 20 minutes.
They just sold a racing pigeon last week for like 1.5 million.
Don't make it last longer
1.5 million.
with your interesting pigeon facts.
Yeah. The good thing about pigeon fanciers is they tweet a lot. That's a shame.
Moving on. Nadiya Hussain's new book. It's called Nadiya Bakes. It's out now, as is the television series of the same name. That's all available on iPlayer. And here's the weird thing. Nadiya Hussain, Bake Off, but this is your first purely baking cookbook.
Yeah, so I've never... It's really odd, because when I announced that I was writing another book, everyone said, oh, but you've got a baking book. And I said, no, I haven't got a baking book. I had to justify the fact that I didn't have a baking book. But it was one of those things, like, it was really important for me after Bake Off to really kind of... It was important for me to cement myself in a kitchen, because that's where I'm happiest and that's where I'm most creative. And when I wrote my first book, it was all about cookery. It was nothing to do with baking. And I think that was kind of bold and kind of scary at the same time, because there was an expectation that I was going to go straight into baking. So it was a long time coming, and like it's one of the best things I've ever done, because, you know, 5 years later, I feel like I've walked into an industry that didn't necessarily have a space for someone like me. And so it feels really important for me to be able to do a baking book and feel really comfortable and kind of feel like I'm comfortable in my industry now.
Yeah. I mean, there's a real range in here of kind of
yes.
savoury things, sweet things, and just, I mean, some things. Like, you know the way sometimes you read a cookbook and you kind of think, yeah, that sounds... Pulled chicken donuts.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't that... You just kind of think, why did no one make that before?
That's 3 good words, isn't it?
Pulled chicken donuts. And this came to you in a dream.
Well, some of my best ideas come to me in the night, and usually I kind of think, is this going to work? But I think the best ones come to me at night, and they always work. And chicken and donuts, like, the two together, it's... Like, I love food like that.
But imagine waking up and someone's been making chicken donuts.
Imagine smelling and going, what's that? Is that donuts or is that
chicken.
roast chicken?
Hold on. You'd be like the Bisto kid, wouldn't you? Like, down the stairs. And cooking is the thing, like, a lot has been talked about this in lockdown, because obviously we all had to cook because you couldn't go out, whatever. But baking was this weird thing. People who'd never baked before turned to baking. What's your theory about why we all did that?
I think for the first time, I think for most of us, we've been forced to stop in a way that we've never stopped before.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, my kitchen is the heart of my home. Like, that's where we do homework, that's where we eat, that's where we just, like, we sit on the floor and play bananagrams. So, like, that's the place where we spend most of our time. And I think for the first time, because we were forced to stop, I think that it allowed us to kind of just think about what we're doing and why we're doing it. And I think baking is one of those things. And I don't know about you guys, but, like, there's this distinct thing generally, I think we get told so often what we can do, what we can't do, what we can eat, what we can't eat. And I think, weirdly, because we'd stopped, we were allowed to just do whatever we wanted, and there was nobody telling us that we couldn't have cake and that we couldn't make sourdough. And I think that was lovely, and I think that's why people enjoyed baking. I, for one, I mean, I spend my entire life in the kitchen and I never got bored, so...
Did any of you...
It's so good to do with the kids as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you know, homeschooling's getting a bit stressful. Do you know what? It's blueberry muffin time. And the kids just love it. And it's something that they can really get involved in. And I think you're going to get an instant reward as well, you know.
Well, you get a blueberry muffin.
Yeah, absolutely. What's wrong with that?
So you did bake?
I'm a dreadful cook and a dreadful baker. So my wife is definitely the chef in the house. I clean and sort out the kitchen.
So when you say we...
Yeah. I do like getting involved when it's fun stuff, and I've got a sweet tooth, so if it's things like blueberry muffins, I'm in.
The thing is, if you're Tim, whatever anyone does, however impressive it is, you can just go, yeah, but I've been to space.
Yeah.
So... stops everything.
In space, we... And in lockdown, some famous people have talked about how they like wearing masks, the anonymity. Because, Gary, you like the mask, don't you?
Oh, the mask. It's revolutionary, this thing.
Do you wear glasses?
Do you mean dark glasses or...?
Like glasses and a mask, because that's a pain.
No, I don't know, no, but the thing is that this mask's so good, right, if I don't talk, because people know my voice, but I can put this mask on and I'm suddenly phoning my wife, babe, I'm in the middle of Asda. I've not been in Asda for 30 years. Christmas decorate, do you need anything? Advent calendars? I mean, honestly, I'm having a bloody great time. I'm going to Aldi next week. Sainsbury's the week. I'm getting them all in.
Get Costco in.
Get Costco in.
Get Costco in.
OK.
Bulk buy.
Yeah.
Bulk buy.
Yeah, chocolate.
Costco is Gary's pigeon. Costco?
Yeah,
Costco.
I'm not buying anything, I'm just in them, calling everyone. You wouldn't believe where I am. It's great.
Excellent. Well, listen, Nadiya Bakes is out now. Thank you. Nadiya Hussain, everybody. Good. Right, it is time to meet our remote guest tonight. She is a music superstar who sold over 200 million albums worldwide. Please say hello to Mariah Carey, everybody. Oh! It's Christmas!
Here we are.
And where are you, Mariah?
I am in the Enchanted Forest. You can't see this other shot, but it's the North Pole. And no, I'm in LA.
And I think this year everyone's just impatient for Christmas. Everyone's just like, start it already, start Christmas. And you, Mariah Carey, Queen of Christmas, you're bringing us a much-needed treat, Mariah Carey's Magical Christmas Special. It's on Apple TV Plus from the 4th of December. So tell us what we can expect in your Magical Christmas Special.
You don't know what to expect, Graham.
I will if you tell me.
Well, look, just know that it's going to be festive. Anything that I put my heart and soul into will be a festive moment. So it's been such a rough year for everybody. Here, you know, our numbers are, like, ridiculous, and we're all just, like, doing our best to get through. And I'm like, in no universe will Christmas be canceled for me. So I just feel like at Christmas, people can tune in, watch it, starting December 4th, and they'll be able to kind of get into the Christmas mood for sure. My kids were running around the house when we watched our first cut of it. They're running around. My son, who's like very much into like Travis Scott and Fortnite, was like just flipping out, just being like so excited about the moment. And it's you know, I think it's going to be something we all need this year. And we were going to do it before everything happened with the pandemic. Yeah, it was in the works.
Honestly, you did an amazing job. We've got a clip to give everyone a taste and to put us in a festive mood. Here it is.
Yay.
I got a great story to tell you. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and 2020 had been rough. So Santa decided the season couldn't be merry without the one and only Mariah Carey.
This Christmas, we could all use a little magic. Favorite teaser. I'm just gonna tell you that first part in the gold dress, that's not from the actual special, but and I tried to tell everybody to use a different clip, but nobody wants to listen. I'm just like, I want them to see the most fabulous moment. So just know, anybody, don't judge that one, because there's a way better TV spot that hopefully we're gonna see. But yes,
someone's being
fun,
fired.
Right?
Someone's Christmas is ruined.
What do you mean? I'm not Scrooge.
But listen, you mentioned your kids. And Rock and Roll, they're in the special, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And they were very excited about it.
Look at them.
And yeah, we had so much fun. And their friend, Michael Michelle Harris, who stars in the show Mixed Dish, who's a super professional actress. She's 8 years old. She's their actual friend. So she's in it with them. And she kind of stars in it, sort of like representing the little Mariah, like the little girl me. Because everybody's always like, oh, you love Christmas. Like, why do you love Christmas? I'm like, because I always wanted it to be great as a kid. And it was always somehow foiled by people when I was growing up, because I didn't grow up with the money or the things to have much. But I always loved it, and then certain siblings or people that I don't know anymore would come over and ruin it every time. So as an adult, I was like, they will never do that to me again. And then I wrote All I Want for Christmas Is You, you know, a while back, and it was the first Christmas song that I ever wrote. And then when it took on this sort of life of its own, I was always into Christmas. I was always doing my own thing, but it also just helped every year. Like, oh, I get to listen to my own Christmas album, and people were coming up and telling me, oh, we listened to your Christmas album in July or whatever, and I'd be like, oh, that's so great. But I've grown to love it more and more, just from a standpoint of like, you know, it's my little song that so many people talk to me about. It sort of kicks off the holidays for them, so.
Because Gary Barlow, I mean, Gary Barlow's a guest here. Have you ever written a purely Christmas song?
Never.
No.
No.
I suggest you do.
Oh. It's tempting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Watching this.
I know, it'd be amazing.
I was on TV at 15 doing a Christmas song. I don't know if you remember that. It always turns up on before they were famous.
What was the song, Gary? What was the song?
It was called It's Today, It's Today. It's Christmas. We must pray.
Is that how it goes?
That's how it goes. Yeah.
Today rhymes with pray. Yeah.
I took a piece of it eventually and made it a hit.
Oh, yes, you did. Yeah, pray. And Mariah, there's an adorable picture of you as a little girl sitting on Santa's knee. And you look made up. Look how happy Mariah Carey looks there. Now, I have to say, Santa looks a bit bored. He looks, it's been a long day at the office for Santa.
He looks like he maybe had a few splashes, and he was just there like, okay. But I don't know, you know, Santa, it depends on his mood, what he gives you. You know, we can't blame Santa. He works very hard.
Well, we've got another picture of you sitting on Santa's knee. Here it is. And Santa looks much happier here.
That's at my house at Christmas. Like, he comes over. Santa's always working. He's working this year, too.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Just has to follow the rules a little more with the whole situation, so, yeah.
And Mariah, one of our guests here, Nadiya Hussain, your Christmas, your sister, birthday, Christmas Eve, your birthday is on Christmas Day.
It is on Christmas Day,
Which
yeah.
must change everything.
Well,
How does that feel, Nadiya? Because don't you feel like you get deprived of one, not the other? I'm just curious, as a Christmas enthusiast.
no, I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm sorry, Mariah. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. I know, I said it. I don't yes.
She celebrates her birthday.
I celebrate
No,
my
I'm only
birthday.
kidding. I'm only kidding. Of course, that's up to you. So you still have a festive time on December 25th, though. So
absolutely.
that's all that matters.
Well, when I grew up, growing up, my dad used to say, it's all about you and Jesus, baby. It's just you and Jesus. Everybody is celebrating you and Jesus. And I was like, I thought that was the truth until about 13 and my sister burst my bubble. And then, like, now it is just
me.
You. Just me. Just me.
That's so funny. This is so American of me to say, but someone I knew when they were growing up, we have the 4th of July here, Independence Day, and they always have fireworks. And he was born on the 4th of July, and his parents told him, every time those fireworks happen, that's for you. That's to celebrate you and your birthday. So I get it.
Look, it's been a joy to see you, Mariah. Enjoy Christmas. Mariah Carey's magical Christmas special on Apple TV Plus from the 4th of December. Mariah Carey, everybody!
Thank you, darling.
Well, merry everything.
Merry everything.
I didn't really know what was going to happen tonight. I'm so relieved she's gone before I sing.
What are you talking about?
I didn't want to sing in front of Mariah Carey.
Can I just say that? Can we all just
sleep
take a
tonight.
moment? We all just take a moment to recognise we all just spoke to Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Good, right?
That's another thing I didn't know was supposed to be on my bucket list, so I put it on and then very quickly crossed it off as well. So
There you go, quickly. So nice, so chatty and lovely.
She's got a good
great.
personality.
Yeah. Have you met her before? Have you met her?
I've met her a couple of times, but
here
she
we
doesn't
go.
take herself too... sorry, Richard.
have you been in space, though, Gary?
I've not, but that Christmas in Aspen was amazing.
Well, Tim Peake has been in space and brings us the story of his life, Limitless. And as it says on the cover, this is out now, and as it says on the cover here, soldier, pilot, parent, astronaut. Now, I was saying this is your way of saying that there's more to Tim Peake than just the guy who went to space.
Yeah, it's the story, really, of how I got to space. And since becoming an astronaut, everyone wants to talk about space, which is great, because I love talking about space, but that's how the conversation goes. And, you know, there's an entire 18-year career in the military and, you know, all the steps that it takes to become an astronaut and then training for the mission. So the autobiography, really, it's all about that journey from young boy to astronaut.
And we meet lots of people in the book, you know, there's teachers, parents, siblings, everything, but one of the heroes in the book has to be your wife, who is an extraordinary woman.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the greatest hero in the book, really, more so than me, because, you know, nobody could do, you know, what I've done without the support immense support of your family and my wife in particular. She made everything as normal as possible for our boys. You know, she created that family atmosphere, approached it with positivity, you know, that they would get the maximum out of the mission. But all the time, you know, I'm leaving her to be a single mum with 2 children, you know, difficult time, and going off into space. But never once did any of that pressure from the family situation get transferred to me.
Were you scared? Were you scared?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's always the thought at the back of your mind. We've all seen the disasters that have happened. So there's you know, you know the risk that you're taking, you know you're rolling the dice. But you are more excited. That's the overwhelming emotion. It's adrenaline. It's you know, it's enjoyment and excitement. And there is just the small voice at the back of your head that just says, really hope this, you know, goes well.
But you're the first British astronaut to do a spacewalk.
Yes.
And, I mean, Gary's saying you were scared, you're frightened, but you must feel so vulnerable when you're outside of the
you
ship.
feel incredibly exposed. I mean, the danger is palpable out there because as you're going into vacuum, you're in the airlock, you're crammed in there with all the equipment and your crewmate. And as you go to vacuum, even then, you're aware that there's this hostile environment has now surrounded you. It's a bit like a diver, you know, going really deep. And then you get outside and it's just incredible. You know, you're out there in space, moving around in this spacesuit, but being able to see the entire universe. Yeah, it's a huge feeling of exposure and actually vertigo at some points as well.
But also in the book you talk about how, for a moment, you thought you saw UFOs.
It was hilarious. And in the daytime in space, space is black, the blackest black you could ever imagine. And if you see a light, it's another spacecraft coming towards you. And we do, when cargo vehicles arrive or crew handovers come over, you see these lights. On this one day, I was looking out and I saw 3 lights flying in formation. And I thought, we're not due a visiting spacecraft today. And I called over Jeff Williams, my NASA crewmate, and said, hey, what do you make of that? And he was equally perplexed. And then a 4th light joined them, all in formation. And then suddenly we realised that we thought it was lights that were far away. It was actually small droplets of light that were very close. And what was happening, a liquid was leaking out the Russian Progress vehicle, and it was crystallising instantly and then reflecting the light. And it turned out to be Russian urine that was leaking out of the tank. So
like animals.
You.
Animals, those Russians.
But no one's ever been more relieved to see Russian urine.
Now, I think Tim's brought it up. So we can now talk about going to toilet in space.
Finally.
Because presumably this is all anyone wants to talk about.
It's certainly all that the kids want to talk about, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
Is it true when you go to schools, you open with going to the toilet?
I get it out of the way because they're all desperate to know about it anyway. So it's like, right, kids, I show them a picture. This is the ISS loo. This is how it works.
Oh, okay. I wonder what the picture was of. Children weren't that keen. What's that? And is it very complicated?
It's not. It's really simple. You have to switch on a fan, and airflow is your friend in space, and it keeps everything going in the right direction. So once you've switched on the fan, you can then pee into the tube, or if it's number 2, it's like a big tea bag, perforated tea bag, so the air can flow through it, but nothing else can. And you've just got to have good aim. That's the only thing.
Hideous. That's hideous.
But weirdly, Tim had a lesson. He'd have been good at it because you had a lesson in your childhood about this. Was it your caravan holiday?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the importance of how to use a portaloo properly. My poor sister, she'll hate me for telling this story, but it was one of our...
Tell it anyway.
It was one of our earliest camping trips, and we were heading off to the French Alps, towing a caravan behind us, and we were about 3 days into the journey. And, of course, we'd come from sea level, and we were now about 6,000 feet on our way up to Briançon, and stopped to have a cup of tea in a lay-by, and Fiona needed to lose the portaloo. Yeah. So she went into the portaloo, and, of course, unbeknownst to her, she's sitting on a pressure keg that's sea level pressure, and we're at 6,000 feet, so she did her business, and while still sitting on the loo, pulled open the slider, thinking everything was going to go down. And, of course, 3 days' worth of content exploded. And
best holiday ever! Yay!
Oh, she's gonna hate you.
I know. And what was worse, it had that kind of blue chemical dye.
Wow.
So she was stained for the rest of the holiday.
I'll tell you what, though, better to make that mistake on Earth.
Now, Nadiya, I know your son is very interested in space travel. Now, did he give you some questions, I believe, for Tim?
He did. He said... So it was... First, he said, did you go to space because you wanted to get out of doing the school run? I'd go to space to get out of doing the school run. And also, can you smell... I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, but can you smell your trumps in space? That was the question. I don't know if you've ever had that one before, but that was his question.
It's a good question.
You have to be mindful of your poor crewmates in space, so antisocial behaviour is not really welcome. So what you do, if you really, really need to let rip, then you go and do it next to the ventilation fan, because that's just sucking everything, the airflow. We have these powerful fans that are circulating all the air on the space station, and they remove all the bad smells.
So no different to when I tell my son, if you're going to do it, go in the garden.
Absolutely, go in the garden. Just same thing, go next to the fan.
Same thing.
He's almost an astronaut. We've got a picture of you all having a meal together on the space station. Now, I have some questions. One is, given this thing cost millions and millions of pounds, it looks like the back of a van. I mean, it's really not nicely finished, is it?
It could do with a lick of paint.
Yeah, something. And also, my other question is, I think this is you, these are the Americans, and the Russians over here. What's going to happen to his ketchup when he when he does that? Won't it just go everywhere?
That's Alexei. He liked his ketchup. As long as you squirt it with some force, it's going to go in the right direction and end up in his burrito or whatever it is there.
Okay.
Yeah, the problem is if you don't do it with enough force, it's just going to be a globule of ketchup and then it goes off all over the place.
Just floating around.
Yeah, yeah.
Would you go again? Do you want to do it again?
I'd love to. Oh, absolutely, yes, yeah. In fact, my classmates, 2 of them have already had their second mission and we're all slated for a second mission.
Oh, so you're just waiting by the phone?
Waiting by the phone. Hopefully between now and 2024, there'll be a second mission.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's a fascinating story. Tim Peake Limitless, I hope you get to go again in the very near future. Tim Peake, everybody.
Thank you.
Now, Richard Osman is here tonight as the author of The Thursday Murder Club. And now this book, you know, it's not just a success, it's a publishing phenomenon now, isn't it?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
what is
don't know what to
it?
say about
In
it.
Britain alone, it's sold over 250,000 or something?
Yeah, 500,000 now.
500,000?
Yeah.
I mean, that's unheard of.
I'm very chuffed.
Yeah.
About it, and surprised. I would say no. I'm very, very pleased about it. It's been the success of it. People bought it, and that's lovely. And then they recommended it to people, and they bought it, and that's lovely. And now they're buying it as Christmas presents, which I fully recommend.
Yes.
My son's reading it right now.
Hmm?
He stole it from my bedside table because that was my next one to read, and he's reading it right now. So I was like, you better finish that before I get home.
Is he enjoying it?
He's loving it.
Imagine if you went, no. He says, you know what?
Hates it. Absolutely hates it.
It's like you're cliched and hackish. Oh, I'm so pleased. That's
Loves
very
it.
Well, no, the only way that a book is that successful is if people who don't read books are reading it. That's how you sell 500,000 books. I mean, it's amazing. And it is a great read. I really enjoyed it.
Oh,
it's like it's a murder mystery, but it's kind of got more layers to it than that, and it's especially British.
It's very British. I got the idea. I went to see a friend of mine's mother lives in a retirement village, a beautiful place right in the heart of the British countryside, you know, rolling hills, lakes, all kinds of stuff. And I went there, and it was so lovely and so peaceful and still. And I just thought this would be such a good place for a murder. Because it just had that sort of feel to it. Now, we went to lunch at this place. Everyone there is over 70. So we go to lunch. By the way, because they're over 70, lunch is 11:30. And they're all drinking, all of them. Right? So I get chatting to a few people, and you hear about their life stories. And I just had the thought, do you know what, if there was a murder here, then I bet you lot would solve it, because they've got such incredible skills. And so the idea came to me straight away. It's this club of people, there's 4 of them, they call themselves the Thursday Murder Club. One used to be a spy, one used to be a nurse, one was a psychiatrist, one was a trades union official, also really different people. And once a week, they meet up to look over old unsolved police cases, cold cases, and call themselves the Thursday Murder Club. And then someone is murdered on their doorstep, and the 4 of them have to solve the crime, essentially. I'm not saying whether they do solve the crime. It'd be a weird book if they didn't, but no spoilers. And so that's the thing, yeah. So very English, people in their 70s as the heroes of the book, and they have to get inside the police investigation, and they do that because everybody underestimates them, and everyone overlooks them, and everyone thinks they're harmless, and they're far from harmless, the 4 of them. And it flowed from there. As soon as I had that idea of the 4 people and the murder in that community, it was sort of I just adored writing it.
OK, so you get it. So debut novelist. There he goes, he's with his book, well done. People review it very nicely. It sells lots. OK, other authors are now going, OK, that's fine. Then Steven Spielberg buys it. I mean, not the book, he bought the rights.
Yes, yeah, he did, yeah. Yeah, if he bought the book, that's $7.99 in my pocket.
But he bought the rights.
Yeah, so he's got the rights. And, that, you know, I genuinely thought, and listen, you'll know what I'm talking about, I thought the world doesn't need another TV presenter writing a novel, right? It's not the kind
Why
of...
would you do it?
Yeah, why would you do it?
Why would you do that?
So I just thought, I want to make sure that this is OK as an actual book. And funny enough, you were super helpful, because as I was going in, the fact that your books were genuinely brilliant, people that were already... They kind of thought, oh, no, look, it's possible to be on TV and be an author as well. So
Apparently it's possible to do it more successfully.
Thank you.
I now discover. I thought mine had done well. No, piece of shit.
I will point out that every week I get an email from the Irish publisher saying, great news, you're #2 in Ireland again. And you think, who's #1? Oh, Graham, still Graham. Every week, every single week. No, but I did...
Come on, Steven Spielberg.
I was thinking, you know, I don't... What if this isn't any good? is honestly what I was thinking. So I wrote it in secret. I didn't tell anyone I was writing it because no one, you know, needs a friend writing a novel. So I thought, what if it's any good? And the fact that Spielberg read it and came in and just said, I love this story, I love these characters, and he bought it. And he didn't know, Steven Spielberg doesn't watch Pointless Celebrities, it turns out. So he doesn't know who I am. So he just liked the story, and that gave me a huge amount of confidence. And obviously, I played hard to get for about like 9 seconds, I would say. And then, listen, he's Steven Spielberg, isn't he?
Well, continued success with the Thursday Murder Club. Richard Osman, everybody. Gary, the time has come.
Has Mariah gone? You're sure?
She's out there. She's got the headphones on. No,
she's disconnected.
She's disconnected. She's gone. She's gone. She's gone. She's gone. If you'd like to make your way, COVID-friendly style, over to your piano. There he goes.
Thank you.
And looking for volunteers to sit in the red chair tonight.
Oh, of course I'll...
Yes, very good. We'll see you back there shortly. But now, performing This Is My Time, it is Gary Barlow!
If love can kill you, I'll happily die. There's something so deadly, I feel so alive. Dangerous, risky, from 0 to 60, that feeling money can buy. If love can kill you, then this is my time. If love can break you, I'll brace for the pain. When it's too much, inject more love straight into my veins. Startling, wonderful, a picture so colorful like poetry, finding its rhyme. If love can break you, then this is my time. Here on the edge, there's only silence. Duck the knife and dodge the bullet till today. I've opened up the doors. If what I feel is love, then I want to end it all that way. If love makes you crazy, hope I lose my mind. Just let it steal my sanity. If it ever was mine, a shining pinnacle of all that's impossible, the ability to take flight. If love can change you, oh, if love can really break you, if love can kill you, let this be my time.
Gary Barlow! Come on back, sir. Beautiful. And thank you to the musicians back there. Yay, you, well done. Have a seat, do.
Richard didn't last.
No, he couldn't. It's not for me.
No,
it's not
I get it. I get it.
And you're off to do the Royal Variety this weekend.
That's right, in Blackpool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it without an audience and all that sort of stuff?
With the virtual audience, I think. It's But
it's great that it's going ahead.
You know what? That's the thing. I think it's good to concentrate on the fact that we're putting something on TV that people can watch rather than there being an audience there.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can have a little audience back here soon.
Yes.
That'll be lovely. That is nearly it. But before we go, just time for a visit to the big red chair. Now, we're still in lockdown, and our normal studio audience are watching at home. So taking the fall tonight is our very own Richard Osman. Thank you, Richard.
I would say it's a pleasure. It feels like something that Tim Peake should be doing rather than me.
Be my guest, Richard. You're doing a great job.
If he's too scared, Graham, then I'll step in.
OK, let's see who's telling a story first. Hello.
Hi, my name's Donna Maria Looney.
Wow.
Hi, how are you?
Tim Peake from space had a better connection.
Absolutely.
Where are you?
I'm actually in Westmeath in Ireland.
OK. Off you go with your story.
OK, when I was younger, I was about 25. I was staying with friends of mine, and I grabbed a jumper, put it on my head, and actually, it got stuck on my head. I pulled down the zip, and the zip got up to my eyelid. But it wasn't even my jumper. That's my story.
I'm so sorry, Richard. We couldn't have known. We couldn't... Her jumper got stuck in her head.
It wasn't even her jumper, though.
It wasn't even that was the corker. That was the topper. And
I've got an idea for my next book now.
Should we try one more?
Yeah, I would love to.
Is it horrible, Richard?
I'll tell you what, why don't I do a spacewalk while I'm here, Graham? No, it's fine. Listen, that was fully deserved. I was very happy to take that for the British public.
OK. We'll try another one. Here we go. Hello. Is that Mariah Carey? What's your name?
My name's Claire.
Claire. And where do you live, Claire?
Solihull in the West Midlands.
OK, Solihull in the West Midlands. And what do you do there?
Well, I'm mother to two naughty little girls called Lola and Lucy. Normally, in normal days, I run a mascot company. So most weekends, I'm dressed up as Peppa Pig at kids' parties, which is a joy.
Wow. I wondered who did that.
Now you know.
So we must introduce you to Richard, because obviously you're telling your story to...
Hello, Richard.
Hello, Mariah Carey. How are you?
Well, that'll be my new name now. I love it.
I feel I don't have a good feeling about this, Graham.
OK. OK, off you go with your story.
OK. Before being a mascot person, Peppa Pig person, I was a stewardess for many years. Now, when flights got horribly delayed, as we've all been there, the cabin crew would get a little extra payment for the grief, you know. So we were stuck down in Moscow, very snowy, stuck on the ground with passengers for hours and hours and hours. So the only light at the end of the tunnel that we were going to get this delayed payment. We took off. Coming into land, the captain makes an announcement. He's like chit-chatty. And then he says, oh, by the way, message for the cabin crew, we're not going to make it. So we're like, oh, no. But to us, that meant we're not going to get the extra payment. We looked into the cabin. There's all these passengers gripping their seats, left themselves, crying, going, oh, no. And we're like, what? But there you go.
That is quite a good story. You can walk. You can walk. Walk, yeah, there you go.
You all, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Oh, that was a real Zoom call outfit. See, holding the rug up.
We've all done it.
They were laundry pants. Well done, everybody that's there. That really is all we've got time for. If you'd like to have a go in that red chair yourself, you can. You just contact us via our website at this very address. Please say a huge thank you to all of my guests tonight. Tim Peake, Richard Osman, Nadiya Hussain, Gary Barlow, and of course, Mariah Carey. Join me next week with comedian Tom Allen, actor Nadiya Hussain, top chef Jamie Oliver, Hollywood star Amanda Seyfried, the brilliant Stephen Fry, and actor and Parkinson's campaigner Michael J. Fox. Plus, a special musical treat from Dolly Parton. I'll see you then. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Anna Kendrick's new friend has gone missing. What was she hiding? Press red to watch A Simple Favour now. Or stay with BBC One as Crystal performs a dangerous routine mid-air. It's God Save the Queens, a double bill.